Okay, so here's number 10. And this is actually my second attempt at it. The first attempt, while I didn't do anything incorrect, it wasn't quite being efficient. So I want you to be aware of that sometimes you want to try, and if it's not coming through the way you want, paper's not expensive. Take a new sheet out and try again. So as we look at this problem, we're going to notice that this can be factored into 1 plus the secant of theta. It's always good in algebra and math to notice patterns. And notice the tangent and the tangent are here. So we've got the 1 plus secant theta and the 1 plus secant theta. So what does that give us? Let's still try for a common denominator. And for this numerator, we're going to get 7 times tan squared theta. And let's just factor out the 7 all the way through. Plus 1 plus secant of theta. And this quantity is squared. Well, does that help us to where we want to get to? We're going to want something as simple as that. Let's see. If we FOIL this, we're going to get 1 plus 2 secant of theta plus secant squared theta. And then we do still have plus tangent squared theta. And we do know that tan squared theta plus 1 equals secant squared theta. So we could say that tan squared theta is equal to secant squared theta minus 1, and make that substitution in here. So that will give us 1 plus 2 secant of theta plus secant squared theta plus secant squared theta minus 1. And so these cancel, and it looks like we can combine these terms. So we're going to get, I'll factor out the 2, secant theta plus secant squared theta. Factoring further, it looks like we are going to get the 1 plus secant of theta. So putting this all back together, this numerator is going to become 7 times 2 times the secant of theta times 1 plus the secant of theta divided by 1 plus the secant of theta times the tangent of theta. And now we are seeing some progress. Those divide out to the number 1, and we're going to get 14 times the secant of theta, which I'm going to write as 1 over cosine. And with the tangent of theta being in the denominator, that's the same thing as the cotangent, which is cosine of theta over sine of theta. And aha! Those cancel. 1 over sine gives us cosecant. And there we are. So we have verified it. And the mistake I made earlier was I substituted for secant with tangent rather than substituting for tangent with secant. Okay, so we'll post this now.